tell the 86 kilo story as it was from your perspective. I will not interrupt, and then afterwards I will kind of poke holes
Okay.
as I
Okay.
see my
The,
audience would want me to.
the 86 kilo story is pretty simple from my perspective. Knuckles Up have, in my experience, through the three events that I've been in, always made the weight agreements between athletes. They've communicated to me a bunch of times to say, we're not really the ones enforcing the agreements of weight. It's between you guys as athletes to determine where you want to meet and yada yada yada. Each weigh-in that I've ever done at Knuckles Up has been a ceremonial weigh-in where it doesn't really matter. No one cares. They read out a different number to what people actually are because they they've got jeans and shoes on and they've had a feed and whatever. So that's been my experience. Like when I pulled Andrei Sharkovich, I was 92 kilos. If I took my clothes off, 94 and a half, 95 with everything on, and Andre was 106 or something like that. No one cared. No one weighed in anywhere. It was just, yeah, whatever. That's what we are. So with Tom and I, before we agreed at the 86 kilos, and that was for me. That was for the purpose of seeing for myself if I could get down to that level, and with the goal of chasing the 85 kilo weight class. Um, just before Christmas, so maybe a month out, I was weighing like 95 kilos, and I was like, oh, okay, I gotta get rid of it. I started eating carb free. Thought, all right. It was literally Christmas Day. I let my have my last carbs, and then I went, okay, carb free now. And once I was carb free, I got down to 93 kilos within 3 or 4 days. And I thought, I'm carb free at 93. It's a fair distance down
It's
to
a long
86.
way to go.
And I messaged Tom and said, hey man, I'm 93 kilos. I'm gonna try my best to get to 86 kilos. But I'm not sure if I can make it. I said, look, I will give it my absolute best. I messaged the Knuckles Up guys and said, can I do an early weigh-in? I said, I'm coming from Australia. I'm 93. I'm not sure if I'm going to make it. Can I do an early weigh-in? And they said to me, well, it's not really up to us. You'd have to talk to Tom. So I went back and continued my carb free, did all my processes, salt loaded, got myself some diuretics to take with me when I got to the US, and I had my early flight because I like to get to the US a little bit early so that I can adjust because the time zone sucks to go from Australia to the US. So I
Yeah.
got there a day before everybody else. Now, as soon as I got to the US, which was uh, the Wednesday night. I got there late Wednesday night. As soon as I got there, I took my first diuretic and started the process of reducing water as much as I could. Because a long haul flight will make you retain water as well. So
Yeah.
the night that I arrived at New York, clothed, I was 95 kilos. I was like, oh my goodness, that's the water bloat from the plane. Anyway, I took a diuretic and I think I woke up the next morning at 91 or something like that. I was after when I say I woke up, I was pretty much awake all night, just peeing. Don't know if you've taken a diuretic before, but it was the first
I've
time I've
taken
taken
a
a diuretic,
laxative
and
before, so I
okay,
assume it's
well,
somewhat
a different
similar.
kind of, but I was just you basically just you just sleep on the toilet because it was like every 3 minutes you needed to take a leak
That
again,
sounds like
and as
laxatives,
soon as
yeah.
you got off, it was like that. So 91 kilos the next morning. So we're now on Thursday. We're competing Saturday, and I'm in the process now, and I went to the sauna at around 11 o'clock in the morning and spent a bunch of hours there and got down to the 86 kilos, nauseous as hell, dying on the floor. I was in in bad shape. I was literally in bad shape, and it was not going to be medically possible for me to stay at that weight for another 24 hours. I would have. I didn't like I said. My core body temperature, my heart rate was sitting around
So
150,
can
and
I ask, why did you plan the cut to cut so much weight before the weigh-in?
Well, because I did that because I had asked the Knuckles Up guys if I could do it early. They said it's between you and Tom. I told Tom, look, I don't know if I can make it. Do you mind if I do it early? He said, and this is where my error was I can't remember without the text in front of me, but his reaction in his text gave me enough of an indication with my desire to do it early that I'm like, yeah, I'll take that as a green
See,
light.
that was a big point of contention for me. He
Yeah.
never really said yes, and I was kind
Yeah,
of
he
thinking.
just said,
I,
yeah,
I was
yeah,
thinking. I even said this to Artem Taranenko on my interview with him. I think you kind
yeah,
of you looked at it with the "What do I want Tom to see" glasses,
yeah, of
and he
course,
kind of didn't say "fuck no," so you decided
yeah, yeah,
he
yeah.
said yes.
Yes, and at the end of the day, for me, I was in a state where I was like, I don't even know if I can make it, so I'm just gonna try. Like I was prepared to message Tom and say, hey man, I can't get there. Are you cool with this? But I got there in the shape where I was really rough. Now I weighed in at the Marriott, which was the hotel next door to the hotel we were at, and I did that because they had a sauna where our hotel didn't have a sauna. So I was there and I used the sliding bar scales that was at the Marriott. I had my set of scales there as well. I got a dude that was just an old man that was randomly there with me to film me, showed my feet, showed everything, getting on there, showed zoomed in on the bar scales. Tom's got the video. Um, and I sent that to Tom and he said, "Oh, a bit early, but okay," or whatever the text message said. And I then rehydrated and then I went and ate food and then I ate carbs and then I got dressed. And with all of that, 24 hours later, when I jumped on the scales, I was 219 fully dressed with pizza and a beer in my belly,
Yeah.
sort of thing. So that's how it played out. But yeah, it was. So I have no dramas with them saying it's a dead rubber match because Ryan didn't make the weight on the official day. That's fine. I'm happy because what I actually learned in that process is that I actually can get down to 86 24 hours before, because 24 hours after being that 86, I actually felt really good again. I felt fully hydrated and back. So I could have push the times one day to the right, and it would have been fine. But I didn't. I was not optimistic that I was going to make 86 in the first place. So I, I, yeah, asked for the early, and like you said, I read it with the goggles on of saying, yeah, that's what I want
Okay,
him to say.
so
So we'll go.
now
Yeah.
I need to poke some fair holes into this.
Okay.
So
Okay.
my
Go for it.
first question is, do you think you deserve the match that was playing against Craig Tullier because you didn't make weight, but you did win?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I absolutely think so. I think I would love to pull Craig. Well,
Like,
Craig pulled his last event at 90 kilos. Like Craig himself is a 90 to 95
well,
kilo
it's
guy.
not
So
about that, but it's about like you earned this opportunity not by cheating, because I do believe you had good intentions, which is why it's like it hurts being a Ryan Bowen fan sometimes, man. But I think you have the best of it. Like, I don't think you tried to do something wrong.
yeah,
But now, okay, another thing I've heard is
well, that's
someone
fine.
else.
That's fine. Look, if I don't deserve the match, fair enough. But is it a good match? Yes. And this is
That's
one of the
different. It's a
this
good
is
match,
one of the
sure. I totally
realities
agree with
that
that.
yeah, this is one of the realities that I'm like, I don't mind that on paper. Oh, okay, Ryan got disqualified from the official win because hey, he didn't make weight, so it became a dead rubber match. That's fine. I still know that under the conditions of the day, I won the match. That's all I know. And so for me as an arm wrestler, I'm happy that I progressed. I felt strong. I beat him in a hook. That's good. No one thought I could do that under any circumstances.
Yeah,
You had to ask people, had to poll people, can Ryan beat Tom in a hook? They would have said, not if Ryan's even 105 kilos.
yeah.
That's what they would have said. So,
And to
so
be
I'm
fair,
happy as an arm wrestler.
that was also my opinion too. I thought you'd win, but I thought you'd go into an ugly Kings move. And round
Yeah.
one, I was like, Tom got him into a hook, but then I realized Ryan got him into a hook.
Yeah.
It was the other way around. I was like, oh, you actually seem content there. Anyway, okay, but a few more questions. So I
Yeah.
also heard that a 100-kilo guy stepped on your scale and weighed 90 kilos. Is this true?
No, no, no. There was the scales in the hotel we were at. Don Underwood, when we were all eating lunch, came in and said, "You guys tried these scales in our hotel because they just told me I was 215 pounds or something." And Don Underwood, if you know Don Underwood, he's like 260 or something
I
like
know
that.
Don Underwood. Yeah.
So we were all like, no, no one's used it, and we all went. A bunch of us went together, and everyone was like, yeah. It's like 25 pounds off that one. So. Yes, even when I went and stood on that one, I was like 84 kilos at the time, and
So
fully
there
clothed.
was
And
a dodgy
there
scale.
was a set of
That's
scales
not
that
the
was
scale
it
you
was it
used.
was dodgy as hell. That was not working at all. That was at the hotel we were at. Yeah,
Hmm. And but you were at
no
the
one, no
Marriott
one
Hotel.
waiting, no one waiting on that. No one waiting on that.
Okay, so that's the origin of that story, but that's not the scale you used.
Correct.
Okay, now another thing I heard, allegedly, ah you ate food the same day you weighed in on your scale before you weighed in. So this is something I heard from someone we everyone at home knows this person, and they told me that that happened. Is
I
that
ate
true?
food that I ate food the day of weighing before weighing in.
The day you weighed in on your scale, you
Yeah,
supposedly ate food that same day, and people
as in
saw you eat food.
after the weigh-in.
No, no, no. They're claiming before you stepped on your scale, you were eating food,
The
indicating
last
that it was not a real weight cut and you got a dodgy scale.
the last thing I ate was sashimi at the airport before getting to New York. So
Okay.
part of the process of the guidance I got from Paul in, and it was actually one of the most tremendous things that I liked about his process was that you do eat protein right up until sort of the last minute, the last 24 hours. And previously, when I've done weight cuts, like the Coach Ray one, I was super low calorie for like a week, and I was depleted as anything. And Paul was like, no, 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 keep your energy high, keep the calorie intake good, just eat protein, clean protein, no carbs, and just know that you can go to the toilet in that last 24 hours and clear that weight out if you have to as well. And I found that that worked really well where despite being dehydrated, I still felt energetic. I still felt like I had calories to actually function with. So
Hmm.
I like that. I will keep that component of eating right up until 24 hours before the weigh-in. But 24 hours before my weigh-in was the last time I was eating.
Okay. So whoever said that they saw you eat that same day before you weighed in, bullshit.
Yeah, there was no big meals or anything like that. I might there might have been some gum or something like that that I kept my mouth moist with. That's about it.
Okay. And then, so if someone were to be at home and they were to perceive how your weight cut went, they would be fair to say Ryan Bowen did make weight, but he made weight on his own scale, which he really wasn't totally given permission to do, frankly. You
Yeah,
were
yeah, yeah, yeah.
kind of given permission, or at least you weren't told no, so you decided it meant yes. Um,
Yeah.
would it, would you think it's fair to say that you made weight, or should you stop saying that you made weight?
No, I'm saying I made weight in reality, but I'm perfectly fine with the organizers saying disqualified, dead rubber.
Okay,
That's fine.
well, okay. I now have an issue with you saying in reality. I think in reality you didn't make
Well,
weight.
there was a moment in time where I was 86 kilos,
Okay, I agree with that.
48 hours, 48 hours prior to the event. That's the reality that I'm speaking of.
Okay, so I'll say the whole thing, assuming what you're telling me is true, which I've heard conflicting things, but I'm only going. I don't know
Okay.
anything at the end of the day. I'm going off what you say and what they say.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
if everything you said is true, I don't think you're the worst guy on the planet. But I also think like you should know that you can make a weight before you try to make the weight. And I also like
Well, you
on
gotta
top
do
of that,
something for the
Knuckles Up
you
are
gotta
a
do
fucking like no offense, but like that's a clown organization move that they're leaving it up to the athletes to manage the weight cut. It's not how that
you got to do
works.
something. You got to do something for the first time, and you don't know. Hence,
Yeah.
hence, a month prior, I messaged Tom and said, I don't know if I can make 86. I'm gonna give it my best shot. His response at the time was, "No worries, man. Thanks for letting me know." He said, I'll never let you live it down if you don't make it, but all good." Like that was his first response to it was that. So like yeah, you got to try the first time. And now I know, oh, look at that. I could have done it 24 hours to the right and it would have been okay. But I didn't. So I'm happy to be ruled out as on the official side of things. And yeah,
All
that's
right.
it.
And then the next question perfectly segues into this. So you bet Tom 5K that you would be willing to take a rematch and you'd beat him in a
Yeah.
rematch. I have heard that this is not a serious offer. Is this a serious offer? Or is it still on the table? And when's the match happening? Let's get it going.
Look, we have had, we had almost immediately, we had interest from a bunch of three promotions. Um, we've left it sitting with Knuckles Up as it's their match if they want to ask for it again. If they do want to ask for it again, I'll do it again, and we'll do it with a live weigh in
That would do
and
great
at
numbers.
86 and I'll make 86 kilos. I will. If the match is on, the match is on. The $5,000 claim was I would be willing to do it. I would be. And the reason is I felt really good. Like I don't there was when I go into a match, I'm an arm wrestler who I know when I'm gonna win. Like once I've felt around, I know if I'm gonna win or not. And I knew I was gonna win from round one. I thought, I got this. This one's mine. You know that feeling when you can just feel that your opponent's bleeding faster than you. And that was evident from me from the very, very beginning. I in round one on one of my surges, I got a pec injury that slightly changed that. I went, ooh, and that's why you saw me no more hook surges, no more side pressure after round one. I
Uh-huh.
just went back into a defensive hook and held and then pressed because I didn't have confidence that that would hold together. I thought if I throw sideways again, it'll tear even more. So I am very confident. Like, and this is no offense to Tom, but I'm very confident that I have gone into Tom's best lane and defeated him. And I don't think that there's another option for him. I don't think he can close the gap. And that's just how I felt as an arm wrestler. That I'm like, no, I'm not usually an arm wrestler that does worse the second time I face someone. I usually do better. Usually, there are a few occasions, like maybe Heather Morris has done better than me on our rematch than our first time round, but he's the only one that comes to mind where I sucked the second time round.
Yeah.
But I feel like because I went into my B game and it was into Tom's A game, I what he would have to do technically to change that, like I don't think he can top roll me at all. No ways he top rolling me. I was able to force a hook very comfortably on his long arm. If he tried to top roll me, I'll slip it. We'll go to straps and I'll hook him again. And I don't think I can be beaten in the hook by Tom Holland. I don't.
Okay, so the 5K is still up on your
I
end.
would I would do it. Yeah, I would do it.
Okay, and now also another question. Let's say a promotion does pick up this match. Are you guys gonna throw your own 5Ks into it as well? Because that's what I want to see.
Well, that's
Frankly, I
that's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that Ryan will donate 5K to the winner. I'm saying I'll put it down. You put it down.
well okay. I took that 5K bet as like fly to Australia. We'll do it. No cameras, no
No,
nothing.
no,
Just
no,
make
no,
it
no.
happen.
This is saying I would put 5K on the line against your 5K and that I will win. That I'm very, very confident that if we have a rematch, I will win it. And I
Okay.
don't I don't think Tom will have that confidence because he felt the same thing I felt. He felt it, man.
Uh huh.
And yeah, like I can't see myself losing that match if we pull it again. I can't.
Okay, and the last question.
Especially if I don't get a peck tear going on in round one. If I had a this is mm, if I didn't get that pec injury round one, it would have been decisive pins for me and it would have been over much quicker because the side pressure would have been there. You would have seen me just sideways pin,
Uh huh.
sideways. That's what it would because he was fatigued and I was not. And I only went to the retreat because of the injury, and I just sat there and held because of the injury,
But
which was in
you never felt worried about being pinned. It was just
no,
actually
no,
progressing to pinning him that was difficult.
yes. I never felt worried about being pinned. I let him climb all over my arm in round four. Let him get his shoulder all the way over and went, it's okay, I can hold him. And just wait. He's gassed. His inner elbow couldn't match my inner elbow. And his own long arm was a problem for him because when I came forward and defended, he couldn't. His hook style is to drag, and he would run out of elbow pad. So there was not enough offensive space for him,
Uh-huh.
and so he came forward to try to press, and he couldn't press through my bicep. So
Yeah.
technically, there's no option for improved performance. He just has to get really strong. So can he? I don't know.
But you're going to be trying to get really strong at the same time. It's kind of how arm
Exactly.
wrestling
So
works.
I think it. I don't think he would be willing to put the money down as well,
All right.
but
And
I
then
would be.
final question about this match. Did you train your hook only leading up to it, just planning that you
Yes,
couldn't top roll him and
yes.
you're like, I'm just going to be in his lane?
I 100% trained to hook him.
Yeah, because I
I
actually,
knew I would.
funnily enough, I made a bet with Coach Ray. We bet $10. I bet on you. He bet on Tom, and I guess now the bet is void because there's no official winner of the match. But um,
Yeah,
my bet was I think he's gonna King's move and roll out, and Ray was like, "There's no way he's gonna roll out of Tom's hand." And in a way, he ended up being correct. You just won in a manner that no one
yeah.
predicted, which is you're actually going to
Well,
willingly go
I
in the hook and just beat
I
him there.
knew I'd touched Tom's hand before in just practice pulling, and I already knew from that practice pull that he was not top rollable.
Yeah,
I knew it. I
that's
knew it. He
basically
can
what
reach.
Ray told me. Ray was like, "Yeah, good fucking
He
luck
can
top
reach
rolling
too
that."
far past. Even out of straps, he was not top rollable unless he's gassed. No, no way. Arm is too long and his hand is too good. It's like you just can't reach anything as a top roller that of value. It's you're just
He's
punching
already
into
on
a paper
top of you.
bag.
Yeah.
So I knew that, and I said, well, I knew that Tom's game is to drop his pronator and get in. And so I said, well, if he's dropping his pronator, I'm going over the rotation and taking everything. And that's where the biomechanical advantage is for me. Even though that's not my A game, it is against Tom. That was the most technically viable lane for me against Tom. So I spent all of my preparation. I don't know if you can recall, go back and look at my training. It was dropping on Instagram then. I was doing a hell of a lot of bicep curls and things like that. And I spent all my time trying to condition my inner elbow.
Hmm. Well, ended up paying off, and I guess congratulations on your no contest. But yeah, that will be the end of the 86 kilo questions, and I'll
Okay.
make that a clip on the channel and call it like I don't know Ryan Bowen's Magic Scale or something. But
Yep.
anyway, so overall, I'm leaving this thinking you're a less awful guy than I went in. I went in thinking Ryan Bowen is the worst. Now I'm like, he shouldn't have thought he could weigh in the day before, but he's not the worst guy ever. That's what I think now.
Okay. I'll
All
take
right.
that.